Hello, my name is Last Down of Mystery Man. This is my seventh ever Bold and the Beautiful review for the episode I aired on Monday, April 24th, 2023, the 9,004th episode of the Bold and the Beautiful. And well, this episode is pretty. I think it was. I thought it was pretty. I thought it was a pretty good episode today. Honestly, I thought it was a pretty good one. I mean, there was some stuff I liked, some stuff I didn't like, but that's just normal. I mean, you're not gonna like everything you see. If you know, I love this quote. If everybody liked and agreed on everything, the world would be a not a fun place because everybody would just agree. I really do like that quote because we can't all agree on everything. We can't all agree on everything. But what happened in this episode? Oh, Thomas is back. Yippee! You all know how I feel about Thomas. Yippee! I was so excited. I was like, yay! Thomas is back. Man, I guess those 4 days without him are over now. Those 4 days of bliss. Those 4 days of awesomeness. But this episode seemed like a real big turning point for Hope and Thomas. And not in a good way, but I'll get to that when I get to that. But so it opens up with, and where I guess Brad Bell's point was, let's immediately bring Thomas back, because it opened up with Taylor and Thomas talking. I'm thinking, oh, yippee, my two least favorite characters having a conversation. Yay. So they're talking about something, I'm assuming. I'm not entirely sure. He's drawing, which I guess is apparently the only thing he does now. I mean, I get that you work at a fashion house, but do you do anything else? Don't you have a son? Do you ever eat at some point? Do you eat chicken or something? Do you eat chicken, beef, hot dogs? Do you ever have food? Do something else. Can we see Thomas somewhere else, please? I know some people like to focus on the job a lot, but this seems like his new obsession is designing clothes. Which, I mean, I'm not trying to put you down for. I'm not trying to put him down for what he does for a living. But I would like to see him somewhere else, please. I feel like we have not seen. I feel like the only place we have seen Thomas is Forrester Creation. Like, we have not seen him anywhere else for like a month. Like, it's just weird to me. But anyways, he's drawing because apparently that's the only thing he does now. So here comes Taylor, and she's like, "Hi, son," and she says it in a very weird way, like she's talking to I'm like, "Really? He's your son? Are you sure he's not the adult? Because he's coming off much more mature than you are." But they're talking. He's like, "What do you want to talk about?" Hope. I'm like, "You have got to be kidding me. Really? We had 4 days of none of this. We had 4 beautiful, amazing, wonderful days of this. None of this. None of it." Well, I'm like, well, it's Monday and we're back to this. So they're talking, and well, I would say, I mean, she's like, "So how's it going with Hope? Are you still obsessed with her?" He's like, "No, Mom, I don't want to be with Hope anymore." And what he's saying, you think would come off as he's being honest here, and he's actually meaning it. But then he says he loves Hope. Dude! Dude! You was obsessed with this woman for 4 years, and you're probably still obsessed with her. You don't say that you love her, because that makes people think that you're obsessed with her. But they're talking. Also, I would like to point this out. Taylor was the one who in 2019 told Thomas to steal Hope from Liam during their supposed therapy sessions. That's what she told him to do. She told her son to steal Hope from Liam. That's what it's all started. So Taylor started the Thomas obsession with Hope. Because it told him literally anything else. I would have told him even if he wasn't my son, or if he was just some random patient I had, I would have told him this. "Dude, I understand that you're going through a lot right now, but the best thing you can do for you and your son is to just focus on the two of you together. You need to focus on being a single father." But she didn't. She told him to steal Hope from Liam. And why? Because she hates Liam because he left Steffi in 2017 after she slept with his father. Because Widge and Taylor both hate Liam because he left Steffi. Point blank. Point blank. Anyways. So then Hope comes in, and I'm like, I do not care. Also, why did they play the theme song after this one scene? I don't get that. Is that usually how they... Also, the theme song, the credits, the opening credits, happened very early on into this episode, like a minute in. I don't know. That's just always bizarre because you usually have like maybe one or two, maybe like two or three scenes, and then you have the opening credits. But whatever. It's I guess it's like maybe it's something new. I don't know. So then we come back to them, and then Hope comes in. I'm like, oh yippee! But then talking and they're talking, and this is like the final vetted shit of like the Hope and Thomas make a good couple bullshit. I think for the Hope and Thomas fans out there. Because Taylor says, you guys make such a great team. Really, Taylor? The guy that's obsessed with her, and a woman who's having a mental breakdown? Okay. Clearly they do. And she looks nervous during all of this, Hope. She doesn't look happy. She looks nervous. She doesn't look happy. She looks nervous. And we all know the actress that plays Honorwell can do crying or scared or nervous amazing. So just saying. Whenever she tries to be happy, it's okay. But anyways, let's get to the real reason why we all can't. Let's get to the real star of this program. R.J. Forrester, or some people know him as Widge Forrester Jr., which I don't know which one they're going to go with. Are they going to go with Widge Jr., R.J., Widge Forrester Jr.? I'm going with R.J. because I just like R.J. better. So anyway, so I love this opening scene of Widge and RJ and Brooke because Widge is like, do you have to be on your phone all the time, son? Really, dude? Really, son? And RJ apparently got like a bunch of followers, and Widge is like, you got 3,000 followers. No, he has 3,230 followers. That's what it said. You know, if you seen the episode, that's what the little car said. It said 3,230 followers. I don't know why he said 3,000. I mean, I guess you can't say the word. I guess you couldn't say 2,030. I guess okay. So they're talking, and RJ asks about all of his siblings, like how all my mini brothers and sisters are doing. And I like this because finally we get some continuity of, hey, other people exist on this program. So let's go through that. Apparently, Bridget's in New York. I think being a doctor. Wick is at International. Which, hey, Wick Forrester. You know, Eric Forrester Jr. Great guy. I like Wick. Always. Well, I mean, there was a time period he had his reign of terror when him and Maya had their reign of terror over everybody. I mean, if you seen that time period, you know what I'm talking about. When Wick was CEO and him and Maya had that reign of terror over everybody. You know, right before Steph came back in 2015. If you watched it, you know what I'm talking about. But other than that, I always liked Wick. I always thought Jacob Young, I think, was the actor that played him. Yeah, I think that was the name. I always liked him. I always liked Wick. Always liked Wick. So, and then they tell them about how Steffi and Finn are married and happy. Apparently, I don't know if that's true or not. Also, it was weird to hear RJ say the words Finn, because last time RJ was on this program, it was William and Steffi. You know, because we all know what happened there. But you know. So then they say, oh yeah, Hope's doing good too. It's like, yeah, cool. I've heard Hope for the Future is doing really well. Although I loved, he never once mentioned the name Thomas. He asked about everybody else. He was told about all of his siblings except for Thomas. Except for Thomas. He cared about knowing about everybody else except for Thomas. So then Brooke tells him about Hope and then Widge goes, what about Thomas? And what about Thomas? And RJ goes, yeah, how is Thomas? Oh, what about Thomas? Your older brother goes, what about Thomas, your older brother? And I'm like, well, all of his siblings are his older siblings. He's the youngest out of all of them. Wick is also his older brother, dude. You can't call Thomas his older brother when Wick is also his older brother. You just can't. It doesn't make sense. Now, both Wick and Thomas can call him their little brother because he is both their little brothers, and they are not brothers. So they can do that. So yes, that works, but this does not work, Widge, because you can't call Thomas RJ's older brother when he has two older brothers. You got to be more specific. You could say, what about your older brother Thomas? You know, my son. Just saying, but okay. I don't want to get into semantics of that. So Audrey's like, how's Thomas doing? He's doing better. He's doing really good now. And Audrey just has a look of his face of, I could not care less about Thomas. So he doesn't like Thomas, so he's already great in my book. It does not take much to impress me. As does not take much to impress me or make you like you as a character. But if you don't like Thomas, you're already 50% of the way down. So they're talking and talking and talking about that. RJ, is saying that he doesn't want to be involved in the Forrester family or the Forrester and Logan family drama because he's both a Logan and a Forrester, and he's proud to be both of them, but he doesn't want to be involved in all his family's drama, which I can't blame him there, because I know, good Lord, if I was both of them, I wouldn't want to be. But I feel like that's foreshadowing for the fact that he will be involved in the Forrester family drama. So then sadly we cut back to Thomas, Hope, and Taylor, which I was not happy. But we're not going to see anybody else. Could we see literally anybody else? I was so happy when there was a commercial break because I'm like, yay, no Thomas! Then it came back and Thomas was back and I was like, oh, man, it sucks. Anyways. So they're talking and they're talking about the design and lace, and I'm like, okay, cool, I guess. I mean, I don't see how this is like interesting. You're talking about clothes. One, I have no idea what you're talking about because one, I do not do fashion. Two, I understand fashion a little bit because I've been watching it show long enough, but I still do not have any idea what they were talking about. About lace and how it looks nice and how it... Also, I don't understand why people spend so much money on dresses if you're only going to wear like one time and then throw it away and never wear it again. What's the point? That's why I don't spend. That's why my parents don't spend much money on my clothes. I just have. I've had these for like 2 years. I've had these for like I think 3 years at this point, and it's still usable, so I still use them. But other than that, they're talking and talking and talking, and then we cut back to RJ, and Widge should start talking to him about how, RJ, you should work here as a designer. See, RJ doesn't want to be a designer because RJ would like to be a YouTuber and an influencer, and he has his own fan base and his own following, which also is kind of nice to hear because I really resonate with RJ as a character because I'm at the beginning stages of my YouTube career right now, so it's really nice to hear. I really resonate, so that made me like RJ even more now, because it's something I can relate to, It's a character trait that I can relate to as I start my beginning stages of my YouTube journey, So RJ is like, Dad, I don't want to be a designer. That's not for me. You got you, Thomas, Zende. Also, thank you, RJ, for finally bringing up Zende and not being condescending. Because the bullying of Zende really got to stop, people, by Thomas and Hope. They really got to stop doing that to poor Zende. That man doesn't deserve it. Zende used to be married and to a woman named Nicole Avant, but that's all I'm going to say there because, I don't think they're ever going to bring her back. I don't ever think they're going to bring her back, but anyways. So they're talking, and Brooke is just there kind of like, don't make my son leave again. Yeah, Brooke, because all of your children leave at some point. I don't blame him. If I had you as a mom, I would have left too and never came back. If you were my mom, I would have left and never came back. I would have booked a plane ticket. I would have booked a plane ticket to the immediate. As soon as I turned 18, my first goal would have been get a plane ticket and move to Antarctica. Just get as far away as possible from Brooke Logan, as far away as possible. So now we're gonna cut back to the Hope, Thomas, and Taylor show, as I like to call it, the shitty part of this episode, ladies and gentlemen. So they're talking about something, and then Charlie comes in, and I was so happy when I saw Charlie. I jumped up and went, finally, someone who's interesting and cool and funny and has a personality and has something good to give. So Charlie shows up, and Charlie's like, well, I got something to tell you guys. I'm sure you all will be very interested. And Thomas the whole time is just giving Charlie all these condescending looks and being a jackass. Basically, he's being a jackass to Charlie for no reason. It's not Charlie's fault he's better than you. So Charlie comes in, and Charlie is like, well, I was at my desk. Yeah, I was at my desk. Well, did you see deck? He was doing something. He was at his, I guess, patrol room area, security area. He was like, I was at my security area, was sitting down, minding my own business. Nothing to do yet, so. And, well, I was awoken. Oh, I'm sorry. I got a beep on my phone on my. Like, I love that because he's like I was asleep, but I no, it actually was a walkie-talkie. I like that. A little side, little joke. A little joke. To help ease the mood of all this crappy drama that's going on. I always liked that. That's what I always liked about this show because they used to be good about that. Because this episode and the last week's episode, and last Friday's episode, really reminded me why I loved this show so much in 2017 to 2015 to 2017. Because even with all the drama that happened, you still had these moments of comedy in there. You had comic reliefs like Pam and Charlie to talk about lemon balls, to give little insights like this, to give little quotes about how Charlie's maybe not the best person at his job. You had all these other characters to be around everybody else to help breathe with the show. The show wasn't so singly focused on drama. I mean, like it has been for the past 4 years. So they're talking, and Charlie's like, and I was very interested in what Charlie had to say because every time he spoke, I'm like, this is so much nice. This is so nice. Could we please get this more? Could we just get a whole show about Charlie and how great he is? Honestly. So they're talking. Anybody like Sprite? It's a very good soda. So they're talking, and Charlie's like, well, after I got the beep on my walkie-talkie, I was told there was a Wish Forrester outside trying to get into the building. And Hope is like, someone is proposing a witch to break into the building. And Thomas is like, I don't care. I'm a jackass. I don't care. Would you please leave, Charlie? And Mom, will you please leave too? So I can creep around Hope. That's kind of my thing, but I was like, well, Widge was in his office, and the other Widge was outside. So there was an imposter Widge, and Thomas was like, what? Really, dude? You gotta be a jackass and interrupt the poor man? He's trying to tell you. If you would shut up and listen, Tom, he would have told you by now. But you keep interrupting this poor man. That's what I hate about this program sometimes. Why does everybody gotta interrupt each other? Just let people speak. Why does Brad Bell think that's good writing? It's not good writing. It's frustrating. Because it's like in wrestling, whenever someone has a promo on Raw, SmackDown, or AEW, someone immediately, like 5-10 seconds into the promo, immediately come out and you just hear music and you go, well, guess we're never going to get to know what that person had to say. Thomas really came off in this episode as an inconsiderate jackass, quite frankly. Like, rude and hateful to Charlie for absolutely no reason whatsoever. Don't know what Charlie ever did to you. Okay. So Charlie's like, well, there's two witches. Well, it's Widge Forrester in his office, but the other witch was also a weird witch too. And I was like, RJ? And for some reason, Taylor is like creepily smiling about this, which I don't know why. I don't know why you would like RJ, considering he's booked. I know you're friends with Brooke now, but really, does that make you like RJ, who I'm pretty sure you probably told your kids is Brooke's bastard child. Because that's what Thomas and Steffi have already treated RJ like. So they're talking. So Taylor's smiling. Hope is so excited here. It's like I get that he has been off of this program for 5 years, since 2018. But it's not like he has been dead or something. Like, if you want to see him, you could go see him in wherever he is. She acted like this is the first time she's heard or seen from in like 15 years or something. Like he just got back from missing or something. I don't get that. She was so excited. Like, oh my God, my baby brother is back. Oh my God, oh my God, oh my God. She was so happy. I have not seen Hope this happy since that time she came back in 2018 when her and Liam got married. That's the last time she has been this happy. I don't know, that just made me laugh so much, how happy she was. And Thomas is just the exact opposite while Charlie's talking, and he's like, I don't care about Brooke's bastard child. So they're talking about that. Taylor's like, well, that should be interesting. I'm sure Brooke is very happy. Hope's like, yeah, she's always been very happy. She's always talking about RJ. Too bad we never heard any of that, apparently, but apparently she was. And Thomas is just like, cool, I haven't spoken to RJ in a while. And Hope is so upset with Thomas about this. Like, the look she gives on his face is, what, you're not happy to see our brother? Also, our brother. Hope and Thomas shares a brother, people. How are you okay with them being a couple when they're both related to a dude? It's weird. It's weird that somehow Hope and Thomas have a kid, Douglas, who is somehow RJ's nephew, and somehow supposed to be by both of them, his nephew. No, it makes this even weirder. It's weird for these people to be together for anyway, because Hope only loves Liam, and she's only ever been in love with Liam. She's never been in love with literally nobody else on this program. But other than that, they also have a brother who they are related to by both of them. Hope literally said our brother, because that is a legitimate factual statement. You cannot lie about that. They're not related, but they have a brother together. Our brother. What is RJ supposed to talk to Douglas about? Is he his nephew by Hope? Is he his nephew by Thomas? Is he just some weird dude he's related to? It's creepy. But anyways, Hope is becoming frustrating with Thomas now. Apparently, it's like she's getting more and more pissed off at Thomas. It's like RJ coming back, and Thomas treating RJ like he's a piece of shit is going to open Hope's eyes to the fact that even if Thomas has changed, clearly he's still a horrible person. Because why is he treating our brother like this? I'm gonna keep saying our brother, because that makes this creepier. So I just love Charlie so much in this episode because he brought such a good comic relief here, you know? Like one more thing, hold on. Give me a second. There was a part of this episode where I was kind of mad at Thomas, but I was more so mad at the writing because, well, Charlie was leaving, and he said, I'm going back to doing my job, keeping this place safe from Nepalese, some ward. Tom's like, that's ward not real, and I'm like, yes it is. So I looked it up on Google. Hold on, give me a second. I looked it up on Google Translate. Give me 1 minute.
Nebulosity.
There it is. Let me say it again.
Nebulosity. Nebulosity.
That is a word, Thomas. That is a word. Nebulosity is a word, Thomas. So that's how I'm going to describe Thomas most likely from this point on. So Thomas' personality is like a guy who is...
Nebulosity.
That is Thomas, basically, in a nutshell.
Nebulosity.
That is Thomas now. For the rest of the time, I'm just going to describe Thomas this way. He is a... Nebulosity person, basically. Because that is a word, because the English only have like 1,500 words, and that's definitely a word. But that pissed me off that he had to make fun of Charlie, because apparently Thomas have never read a dictionary before. So yeah, nebulosity. That's a word, Thomas. It means a cloud of something. It means something. I mean something. I don't know what it means, but I know it's a word because I looked it up and said, boom, it could be Google translated, so it's a word, and it can be Google translated. I mean, it's a word in other countries too, but that was more so just to, I don't know, kind of explain to everybody how Thomas can basically come off as an idiot 95% of the time, and a jackass now. Now he's just a jackass. He's not even creepy anymore. Now he's just a jackass now. His new character trait should not be that he's creepy anymore. He's not Thomas the creepy guy. He's Thomas the jackass. I don't know if that makes him worse or better. He's just a jackass now, basically. So Thomas is a jackass now. So Hope is so excited, so she goes like, I'm going to leave now to go see our brother. And Thomas says, you have never seen Thomas more upset. He's like, no, don't leave my creepy obsession. Come back to me. I need to creep on you more. No. I'm sorry, folks, who like Thomas and Hope, but this episode really paints into a nutshell why those people will not work as a couple. Because Hope is not going to be happy with the fact that Thomas hates RJ. I think she's going to pick RJ over Thomas. Any sane person would. But other than that, RJ is talking with his parents, and he's like, what Thomas did was wrong and horrible. What Thomas did was wrong to my mom. Like, I don't disagree with you. And Widge, of course, does what he always does. And he kisses Thomas and Steffi's asses because that's what he's done since 2013. Because he can never put his children down for nothing. Because apparently they're great little angels, which has always pissed me off. Which put your children down. I don't know if it's because Don Keaton decided that he wanted Widge to care more about his kids, which in a way I can understand. But you should still hold your kids accountable for their actions. I'm just saying. That's all I'm gonna say there. I wish they would write Widge to hold Steffi and Thomas accountable for their actions instead of having him always kiss their asses like they're the greatest thing on planet Earth, because they're not. So other than that, Hope comes in and I have never seen someone so excited to see somebody that basically she grew up with. She's like, oh my God, RJ! And I loved RJ here. Hi, Hope. I don't know why that was hilarious. Just like, hi. She was so excited. RJ! RJ. Hi, Hope. How's it going? How you doing? She was so happy to see him. She was like, oh my God, it's you. It's the guy I haven't seen in like 20 years or something. Also, fun fact, if they would have kept Hope, if they would have aged Hope up correctly, me and Hope would be the same age. But she was born 2002 and so was I. So there's a fun fact for you. So other than that, not much else happened, quite frankly. It was just like a 2-part episode. That's why I kind of go off, because I have nothing else to talk about. You know what I mean? It's like, you had the weird conversation between Thomas and his mom, and then you had Hope come in, and I think we saw the final scenes of that Hope and Thomas fans can go, oh, she's thinking about Thomas. Yeah, no, not anymore, because clearly now her brother's back, and now they're going to make her hate Thomas even more. Also, RJ definitely does not like Thomas, and Thomas definitely does not like RJ. Oh, wait, no, I forgot. So Thomas is now, after Hope leaves, Tay was like, you're not going to go talk to you're not going to go with her to see your guys' brother? Love she said your brother. You couldn't, no, I loved how Taylor had to say it that way. Because Taylor couldn't say your guys' brother, because if she said that, then she would be admitting that they wouldn't work as a couple. Because clearly Taylor wants them to be a couple. Clearly Taylor is like the Hope and Thomas fans. Just does not understand how Hope Minds works. I mean, I don't understand how Hope Mind works either, because I've watched this show long enough to know that Hope ain't nothing special, quite frankly. But just kind of how this program works. So after that, RJ does eventually hug Hope, and it was a very nice moment. I don't know. Hope's character is always always comes off like the nicest, most respected, a nice person whenever she's not around Tom. Thomas makes Hope hateable, in my opinion. When she's with Thomas, all I think about is the fact that he lied about her daughter being dead. That's all I think about when those two are on screen together. I think about nothing else. Nothing else. Think about the fact that he lied about her daughter being dead. Think about the fact that he manipulated her into marrying him. He kissed a mannequin. They share a brother. She used to call Widge dad. Those are the only 5 things I think about when Hope and Thomas are on screen again. I don't see them as a couple. I don't see Douglas as a son. I see Douglas as the final vestige of a lie that should have died in 2019. In my opinion. Because this show has been very stagnated for the past 4 years, because it's always been focused on like one story. Like 2019, it was the Beth is dead storyline. Oh wait, no, 2018 started that. It was the Steffi slept with Bill, and well, why would she do that? Oh yeah, Hope came back. That's why. That's why Steffi slept with Bill. Because Steffi was never going to cheat on Liam at any other point for no reason between 2015 and 2017. No point, because as I've said, I was a big Liam and Steffi fan back then. That's why I'm going to leave that. But yeah, this episode really was a trip down memory lane of like why this show used to be awesome. Not much else happened. They did have a nice big family group hug, which I think was kind of nice, But other than that, not much else happened on this episode today, so I think I'm going to end the episode with you there. But I would also just like to, at the end of this video, just make a little shout out to the fact that my Fort Bold and the Beautiful video has 713 views, which I would just like to thank everybody who has turned on my video. I would like to thank everybody who has ever watched me in these past, like, I think, 9 days. Just thank everybody so much for that. And my second one has 416 viewers. It is amazing. I think it is amazing that that is in a week and 2 days I have got that many viewers. So I'd just like to thank you all for that. So thank you all. I would like to end this review here. I think this was a pretty good episode, so, well, I don't know, there's not much else to say other than whoever sees this video, I hope you have a wonderful day. And see you guys in my 8 Bold and a Beautiful video.